to be starting in just a moment with Sara Guiel of the Mumpreneurs Networking Club. I'm really delighted to be introducing Sara, who I've known for a number of years now, and she's always been very supportive of the work that we're doing here at the university with female entrepreneurs. And I'm really delighted that she has just joined Accelerating Women's Enterprise as one of our external committee members. So she's going to be really heavily involved with the Accelerating Women's Enterprise project. But today, as an expert in networking, she's going to be talking to you all about networking in the digital age. And just so that we don't have any hiccups, I am going to attempt to share her presentation for you right now. Sara, I'm going to hand over to you.
Lovely, thank you, Amy. Good morning, everybody. I am Sara Guiel, and I'm delighted to be here this morning with you all. So thank you for taking the time to check in. Thank you, Amy, for the invitation. My business is the Mumpreneurs Networking Club. We have been in business for a decade. It is a networking organisation, and we are predominantly, our members are women, but we're not fussy, Dr. Phil. We take anybody, so chaps are always welcome as well. We're not exclusive, but we were set up but as women for women to start with. Now, we have learned in the past 6 months probably more about networking online than we have learned in the previous 9 years. And that was due to that little irritant that we're all experiencing at the moment, that global pandemic. So we've learned some tips and tricks, and I am here to share with you some of my top tips for networking in the digital age this morning. And it is a fairly practical session, so I would recommend if you've got a pen and a piece of paper handy, you may well want to write things down. And as Amy said, we will be doing questions in the Q&A, so get those questions written down and I will answer them as fully and as transparently at the end of the session when we do the Q&A for you. Amy, would you move on the slide for me? So what I want to do today, to change things up slightly, I want to put you onto a networking mission, and I want you to set your own strategy, and we're going to look at 5 steps to maximize that. So we'll be looking at things like, do you need support? Is that why you need to go networking? Are you looking for customers? Is that why you need to be networking online? And one thing we have learned over the past 6 months is that if you network online, you are staying visible. And if you stay visible, you have a much greater chance of staying viable during this pandemic and coming out the other side whenever that might be. It seems a long way off, but it will come round really quickly if you're not paying attention in your business endeavors to stay visible online. I can't stress that highly enough. So we will look at a 5-step plan to maximize your follow-ups at the end. And now I'm going to give you a sort of top tips really of the best, easiest strategy, easy access strategy that you can get. Amy, would you move that slide on for me? Now there are 10 points on the next slide that will be coming up very soon that I want to talk through. And it really is just a brief view. Oh no, it's not that one. Right, never mind. We'll do, there it is. That's the one. Thank you, Amy. So these are just, just the very scratching the surface, and there's lots more we can do. But if you want a basic strategy for upgrading your networking online, have a look at how many meetings you're attending a month. Now, some of you may not have been to any, and some of you may have been to loads, and they happen on lots of different platforms. So you could be meeting in a Facebook room. There could be something on LinkedIn that you can get involved in. It might be, as this one is, a Zoom meeting. I hadn't really heard of Zoom back in February, and I am now a Zoom expert. It's amazing how much you can learn when a pandemic strikes. So have a look. I would suggest that you book onto maybe 2 to 4 meetings a month, networking meetings over that time. You could do friendly and accessible ones. My network is very friendly and accessible, but there are also much more important and more traditional meetings as well that obviously are currently happening online as well. You might need to be a bit braver for those more traditional ones. If you're not used to networking, and certainly not used to networking online, you might need to be a little bit more prepared, but you will need to put some work in. There's no quick fix with networking and staying visible. Whichever organization or types of meetings you choose to attend, you will need to attend them consistently and regularly. So commit to a 6-month strategy. Look at different things. You could try different things each month and do keep some of them consistent. You'll need to have a pitch ready and a call to action. Really important that you have a call to action. When you go to a meeting and you tell people about yourselves, what do you want those people to do next? Do you want them to phone you afterwards? Do you want them to visit your website? Just have one call to action, not 6 zillion, because you'll confuse people and they will just instantly switch off. What's your weak point? Are you nervous? Do you need to write things down? Nobody cares if you write things down and read them. I have a load of paper here, and actually I know my subject really well. Nobody minds, but so long as you are prepared to say something, and so be brave. Your weak point might be getting ready in time or firing up your laptop. You'll know what your weak point is much better than I will, so make sure that you just pay a little bit of attention to that. Pick the groups you're going to. You can join some of my groups if you want to test your networking wings and see how you do. And I'm sure at some point I could leave some links for you to do that. But there will be other groups in your areas. There will be local groups. There will be community groups. It depends what your business is and what your industry is. And I would definitely suggest just book the meeting. Don't leave it there until the day. Engage before and engage afterwards. So if there is a Facebook group or a LinkedIn thread that you can engage before that meeting, reach out to some people and say, hello, I'm coming along, or particularly the organizer. They will help you for that. They will get you involved before you go. And it's a really good way of breaking down some barriers and introducing yourself before you get there as well. Now the chat's just getting in my way slightly here, so excuse me. So we're down to the bottom. It may be that just because we've all seen it, we've all seen those news clips and the videos that have gone viral of people that have turned up to Zoom meetings, turned themselves into potatoes and can't turn themselves back again into real people. We've seen people networking in their pajamas, because you could, in a digital age, you could fall out of bed and network in your pajamas. I wouldn't recommend it. Definitely not. If you are looking to make some sort of professional impression, just because you can network in your PJs doesn't mean you should. Look at your background. My background today is my cozy office. I've got photographs and books, and I'm all right with that. That's fine. But just make sure that you have got a background that you are happy for people to see. If you don't want people to see last night's washing up, don't do it in that room, or get yourself a digital background. They're easy enough to find. Some digital devices will happily provide you with a digital background, and some won't. You may have to invest in a green screen, but I would suggest you do that research for that. And commit to being more visible. That's probably the most important point here. Make sure that people are seeing you online every single week, either be through a meeting, a network meeting you're going to, or whether you're engaging and networking online in groups through social media. The next slide, please, Amy. Now, this is really, really whistle stop, and I appreciate that I'm talking quite fast to fit everything in. So do find me afterwards if there's anything you don't understand or anything you need explained. Why should you network online? Well, we've briefly covered that. It will increase your visibility. If you are engaging and chatting online in groups, in places, or posting as well on your own social media for your business, it will increase your visibility. If you increase your visibility, you will dramatically increase your chances of staying viable at this time. Now, networking online doesn't restrict you to geographical boundaries. It can really help you extend your reach. So you could be networking with people in the Orkneys or down in Cornwall, and you might be based in London. If you've got a business you think might gravitate towards the capital because you're rapidly growing and accelerating, look for groups in London that you can network with. Networking online will generate leads for your business, but you must make sure that you follow those up. There is no point in generating leads that you then just ignore. So make sure you contact people. And sometimes people say, oh, I haven't got time to do that. I'm too busy working on my business. Believe me, if you ignore those leads, 3 months down the line, when you're not very busy anymore, those leads won't be there. You do need to set aside some time each week for networking online. And also, if you're networking online, you'll be able to tap into the business grapevine. You'll be able to ask people about your business conundrums. You'll be able to ask people where they network. Who do you want to meet? Who are they meeting? Find out. You'll be able to find learning resources, as with the Accelerated Women's Enterprise Group. As Amy said, there will be training there. And if you are tapping into communities, you will find ideas and events that you can attend. Amy, next slide, please. It's very good making someone move your slides on. It's almost like having your own PA. Amy, you haven't got any time for an extra role, have you? Right now, increasing your business visibility. Now, you need to spend time, as I've said, networking online to increase your visibility, but, and this is the one but, you need to make sure you have a return on your investment, both the time that you are spending and also maybe if it's a membership club, the money you're spending on membership. So in order to do that, you must make sure that you, when you attend events, you stay at that event. Don't log on and log off and log back in and log back off, because people will view you as a bit of a flippity-gibbet and not consistent. And all these little things add up to sort of perhaps eroding your credibility if you're not concentrating on making sure that you're presenting a professional image. So make sure that you, when you log on, you stay on as well, and you listen to what other people are doing. Listen to what other people are suggesting. Find out if there is anything else you can get involved in that would either be good for your business, either be good for finding clients, or perhaps would be good for, you know, your own business development. You can also find skill swaps online. Maybe budgets at the moment are not big, and small businesses don't have the luxury of the budgets of the big brands. So you may find something in your business HQ, in the team, in your back room that you're missing. Maybe you're missing the help of somebody who could project manage one particular thing for you. Maybe you're missing some VA support for something in specific. Maybe you need a bit of tech advice. When you go to those meetings, or when you network online in various groups on social media, find out if there's anybody you perhaps could do a skill swap with, and buddy up. Buddying up with someone that you think you've got some synergy with and an affinity with could be a really good way of keeping you accountable. Testimonials are also another brilliant way to increase your business visibility. If you don't have testimonials in your business, go and find someone. Pick your 4 last customers, or your 4 last clients, or 4 people that you have a business partnership with or an association with. Ask them if they would put something down in writing for you. Ask them if they would leave you a Google review. You need to be making sure that you are getting those testimonials in, because they will provide brilliant content for your social media and increasing your visibility online. So think about that. Maybe pick 4 people today that are involved in your business that you could ask following this event today for a testimonial, and then you will have 4 pieces of social media content to add to your business visibility. Amy, next slide, please. Now, networking online is all about creating opportunities. It is a gateway, a doorway to further opportunities. So you will have to work on it a little bit. It's not a magic tablet or a magic bullet. you will need to work on it. So get involved, look at your local groups, look at your industry groups as well. Ask people you meet for recommendations of groups that they think you could get involved in. So make sure that you are doing that regularly as well. Get involved online. We have an online Facebook group that is free. It's called MNC Online Business Networking Group. Come and join us there. You'll see what other people are doing and what they're doing to increase their visibility, and you can do that too. Amy's group, the Female Entrepreneurship Network, that is another place you can go to increase your visibility. But get involved, commit to making some comments and engaging with people on there in the time that you set aside for working on your business networking and visibility. The other really good thing at the moment that we're getting involved in that we haven't done, and we have found that it is suddenly almost exponentially increased our visibility, is Google My Business. If you have a small business and you haven't done Google My Business yet, look it up and commit to finding out about it and seeing if you can do it. When you're writing your content online, Google My Business will pick up on that. It will increase your SEO. Now, I don't know the ins and outs of Google My Business. My business partner, Nikki Chisholm, who started MNC with me all those years ago, she's got her head buried in all sorts of research doing Google My Business. But she absolutely guarantees me that every small business needs to get on with that. So that's another commitment I'd like you to make today. Go and have a look at Google My Business. And if you haven't already, investigate it as well. There are lots of other places that you can find networking events. If you're struggling to find something to go to, you think, well, Sara, yes, it's all very well saying turn up to 4 events a month or 2 events a month, but where am I going to find these things? Well, there's lots of ways of doing it. You registered for this event through through Eventbrite. If you sign up to Eventbrite's newsletters, they will send things that might be of interest to you. And they're not the only place. You've got My Meetups, Finding Network Events, Find Networking Events. There are lots of different platforms that will have events for you to go to. And again, ask people as well. Okay, thank you, Amy. Next one, please. Now, when you turn up to those meetings, they are all online. You will still need to be prepared. And we touched on it a little bit earlier, not networking in your PJs, unless, of course, you are a pajama seller. Then in which case, definitely do. So be prepared. Always be prepared. I would suggest that you turn up looking to represent your business. So if you are a beauty therapist, you might want to wear a uniform. If you are, I don't know, a holistic therapist of some sort, a physiotherapist, maybe you would wear your uniform. Turn up with a prop. If you are a photographer, bring your camera. Have something ready for that. Make sure your pitch is fresh and time sensitive. We are leading up to Christmas, and I can't remember how many weeks it is. Is it 5 weeks now? 4 Fridays have we got before Christmas? Something ridiculous. I don't know where this year has gone at all. But make sure it is fresh and time sensitive. Don't make it up as you go along. Write it down so that you know what you're saying, and practice as well. Practice, 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 because then you won't be so tongue-tied and you won't be so nervous. If you're keeping it, when you're listening to other people doing their pitches, think what works, what piqued your interest. Are they using a formula that you could use for your business when you're doing your pitch? So pay attention, write down what you want to say, and make sure, of course, as we spoke to earlier, have that call to action. If you don't have that call to action, you do risk people forgetting what you wanted them to do. They won't know what you wanted them to do. And when you're spending time networking, you really want to make sure you're getting a return on that time that you're investing. Have your links ready. Now, I can see everybody is really busy using the chat here. So have your links ready and your call to action that you can just paste in the chat as you go along at that meeting. So it's all ready for you, so that you're not missing out on what the meeting is about while you're busy trying to tap into the chat. And remember as well, you can always save the chat for later. And that's really important when it comes to your follow-ups. Now, I just about know how to save the chat in a Zoom meeting. I don't know on other platforms, so you will need to investigate that if you're going to different meetings on different platforms, but I would certainly suggest that you save the chat. Amy, thank you. Now, polish up your first impression. It's really important. Don't be late for the meeting. You'll be able to hang around in the waiting room. Make sure that your microphone is working. Make sure people can see you. Make sure that you are presenting the image you want people to remember. First impressions still count, even if it is online. So make sure there are no knickers on the area behind you, unless unless you're an underwear seller. Look at your background. What do you want to present? First impressions do still count. And if you are a new business and you are learning all about how to network and you're getting to grips with the whole startup phase of your business, there is that old saying, if you're not sure how to present yourself, have that saying in your head, dress for the job you want. That might guide you a little bit on how to present yourself on there. Before you go to the meeting, make sure your social media is up to date. So polish up your shop window. Make sure that your Facebook profile or your Facebook page or your LinkedIn profile says what you want it to do. And make sure you don't just ignore it either. After a few months, revisit that and polish it up. It is your shop window. In these really difficult times we're living through, social media is people's view on what you do. So make sure that what they're looking at is what you want them to see. Keep it fresh and keep it changed and make sure it's representing your business. Thank you, Amy. Now, you've done all that, you've been to your meeting, you're busy engaging online, you made sure that you were wearing something smart for that meeting. So what are you going to do next? Well, in order to make sure you get the most out of digital networking, you are going to need to follow up. It's the same as we used to do as children, or at least we used to do as children. We were always made to do and write our thank you cards after Christmas or after our birthdays. Nowadays, usually a text will suffice. And the same is true as well of digital networking. So make sure that you are ready, perhaps to identify 4 people in the meeting that you go to that you could connect with afterwards. So are there 2 people you think, well, I can help them. They asked for this in their call to action. I can tell them about something. Is there 2 people or 3 people that you can identify who can help you in your business? Do you need some help with tech? Do you need some help with email content? What do you need help with? Identify 4 people from that meeting that you can either help or that could help you, and make contact with them. The same as those thank you cards. Lovely to see you, Amy, today. Really enjoyed what you were talking about. Would love to find out more. Perhaps we could meet up. Arrange a one-to-one, arrange a virtual coffee. Make sure that you actually follow up. Really interested in what you had to say. I wonder if we could talk more about that. I think my business might need that help. So make sure you do that afterwards. And can you help someone? Have you got a trusted contact that you can put somebody in contact with? Perhaps Erin needs some help with her, I don't know, maybe dog training. I don't know, whatever it might be. Can you help someone? Do you have a trusty book of contacts that you could introduce someone to? But I will just make a note of caution here. Don't just spam. Make sure that you are actually building a relationship and making a connection. So don't just spam with all your links. Make sure that you are talking to that person first. The way we behave offline is probably the way we should be behaving online. Amy, thank you. So keep in touch. Now I know that was really fast. I spoke and I gobbled through that. But if anything has piqued your interest here, if you'd like to find out more, then please get in touch. I'm quite obvious on social media. This photograph here is a picture of me and my business partner. We started this organisation 10 years ago. We are absolutely committed to keeping small businesses viable, and we've got a number of ways you can do that. you can get involved in our free groups to do that. We are totally committed to that. So please find us if you have any questions. I know there was a lot of information there. It was very whistle stop. So anything extra, just let me know. Thank you, Amy.